Yes, I started up in the Yukon 23 years ago. If you're not familiar with our story, we've been in the Yukon and our group. We started this company actually in the very late 90s. We've been around for a long time. We've never rolled the company back, and we've been very judicious in taking care of our treasury over the years. So we are well financed. We have almost $11 million in the till. We have a very large project, which I'll be taking you through today. I know we're pressed for a little bit here for time, but we'll take it through pretty quick. We're here. Come and chat with us the rest of the day to learn more about it. So I think we have the usual forward-looking statements. Take a peek at that. So if you're not familiar with us, we're in the Yukon. We're looking for gold. Our name is a bit of a misnomer. We have been focused on developing Canada's only Carlin trend for the last couple of years. I would argue that we're we have a belt. We have a 185-kilometer long polymetallic belt. We have the Carlin-style mineralization at the eastern end of the property and intrusion-related mineralization at the western. You can see we're in central Yukon. Obviously, the project is very large, 185 kilometers long. We own it 100%. It's unencumbered. There's no royalties, and there's no holding costs in the Yukon. For those of you from Vancouver, our property would be as long as it would take to drive up to the salt sheds on the Coquihalla, so it's a very large project. It has its challenges, but there's a lot of mineralization within this belt, and we own it all. So to zoom in on the project, this is kind of a nice slide. You can see at the western end, that's where we initially started, like John said, back in 2006 and 2007, and we found the Tiger Gold deposit. Over the years, we developed that. We found a silver-lead-zinc zone called the Ocelot, which is going to be right over here. And then in 2009-10, we intersected our first hole, 65 meters of almost 5 grams. So that's when things really got kicked off on the Carlin-style mineralization. So we got into that pretty aggressively, and that's when we got up to the $10 billion market cap, and then things were hot. Gold was $1,900, and things were great. I would just say that nothing's changed over those years. We've made the project better every single year. Okay, we still own that. We now have the second highest grade open pit resource in North America at Osiris. It's completely wide open. It's made up of 4 zones. I'll take you quickly through that. And then at the western end, we just keep finding mineralization. We never made a big deal about, talking about the work that we were doing, but we're always doing underlying work at the western end because we knew there's a lot of mineral potential out there. This year, well, I'll take you through that in a minute here, but that's kind of the lay of land. We've broken it into 3 projects. Barrick earned in onto the middle part of that, which was a very early stage part of our project. We wanted to kind of have this kind of hybrid project generator, what we initially started at, to bring other people's money in. A quarter of all of their holes from last year hit gold mineralization at the Anubis Fault. Obviously, things have been changing at Barrick, but now we know where to focus our work at the Orion project. So, again, here's one slide that just kind of talks about our initial maiden resource at Osiris. Again, second highest grade open pit resource in North America. It's completely open, so we can keep following on that. For every meter that we drilled out at Osiris, we got 21 ounces of gold. I mean, those are great numbers, and one of the lowest discovery costs of $32 an ounce as well. So that's still there, and we'll continue to look at that. We have interest, and we could look at partnering that eastern end of the project or going after that ourselves. So there's a lot of opportunity there. This is that Osiris resource at the eastern end. The Conrad, obviously, it's high grade, just over 4 grams, 12 million tons. And you can see the potential out there. The Osiris, those are your pits. You can see that there's a lot. If you look at that Conrad zone, right in here, it's a bit of a V, but right down in here, we got 20. There was a hole that got in 2018 of over 20 meters of almost 10 grams. So there's a lot of real estate to add additional high grade just on that Conrad zone alone. And all of these other targets out of Osiris and Ibis, they're wide open as well. So lots of opportunity just on that alone. This is the area. You can see that the Osiris, this is where we own this 100%, and then we allowed Barrick to earn in 2 years ago we had a deal, and part of that deal was to guarantee to spend some money so that we can learn something from this, and we did. And what we learned, I mean, this is the Cortez district to scale, so there's never been any Carlin-style mineralization of any significance ever found outside of Nevada, and we own the entire area ourselves 100%, so that's an opportunity there. The work that Barrick did, the 4 holes out of the 16 all hit along this Anubis fault, and I'll take you in closer to that. So here you go. This is really hard to kind of get your head around the scale, but what you see there is 2.5 kilometers long. And we drilled, in 12, we did almost 20 grams, so 8.5 meters. This year, we drilled, this is 3 football fields away, 7 grams over 10 meters, and almost close to 450 meters of depth, 10 grams over 7.5 meters. There's a ton of real estate. We found more mineralization over here, 10 grams over 3. So there's a huge opportunity here to keep finding more gold mineralization. So that will be the focus of future drilling in that area. So this is just to kind of reorientate yourself. We're going to be talking a little bit more about the western end of the project here. So here's the what we call the raw project. Again, just to reiterate, this was our first initial deposit. This Tiger deposit is open. Again, it's pretty darn high grade, and so one of the key things about our project is we've in the downturn in 2013, 14, 15, we did all the hard work getting a road permit. We're expecting to get that permit next year, early next year to mid next year. So that'll and then we could go ahead with that. The key things here is that we have the ocelot, silver, lead, zinc. This is a zone. Once we, when we were drilling this, that's when we found the Carlin-style mineralization out to the east. So of course, all of our focus went out here. We really haven't followed on up that. Those are some very good grades for silver, lead, zinc. It's within a couple kilometers of the proposed road, and it's right at surface. Kind of what we want to talk about today is the bobcat. We knew that we had this kind of mineralization back in the day in 2007, 8, 9, and 10. We just never got back there. But we're finding high-grade gold and copper. So take a closer look at that. And really, what it comes down to is it stems from an intrusion that we see the upper levels of in dikes, but we see the skarn mineralization. So if you take a look at the intrusion, I think I'm just going to go back here. Sorry about that. So right in here, here's the intrusion. Here's the Tiger deposit. We're going to look at that conceptual model that takes us all the way through the raw project, and here's that intrusion. So what we're finding is we know that this is the Tiger deposit. That's drill confirmed. You've got the carbonate manto, silver, lead, zinc. That's drill confirmed. And we're finding at the spotlight and blue light and bobcat, we're finding high-grade copper and gold mineralization at surface. We plan to drill that in 2019. And then we've never really tested this Pluton, so there is porphyry potential out there as well. So, we have all the indications of a big plumbing system in the area, which we're going to be testing this year. And again, here's that bobcat target. I mean, that what you're seeing here is this is a vegetation kill zone. So really, the sulfides in the mineral in the soil, doesn't let vegetation grow in the area. It's all natural, but I mean, this is a huge area, and look at the grades that we're getting here, and in a lot of cover. So sometimes when you go to a soil sample that's just because there's cover, you get these low-grade soil samples, and you go there and it's just a bunch of moss, and you're like, oh my gosh, where's this coming from? But you dig down 2 feet, and you're pulling this out. This is high-grade gold and copper. It's spectacular. So we're going to be going out this year. We're going to be doing geophysics. We're going to do pitting. We're going to kind of target our drill holes. So this is a really exciting development for us, closer to infrastructure. So that'll be a priority for this year. And just up over this ridge, we've got the spotlight. And this is another skarn target. We've got a almost 2 kilometer long silver soil anomaly here, We've got, I mean, these silver grades are amazing. So we've just kind of tucked into that, so that's another opportunity as well. So we'll be following up and expanding grid samples, mapping, and trenching, and that'll be pretty darn exciting as well. So really, you know, why invest in ATAC? I mean, really what it comes down to, if we are going to be coming out of this, you know, this low market, I think, as me as a personal investor, I think you kind of look at John's company and some of these companies around here, and I mean, this is a risky industry to be putting your money into as it is, but I would just argue that, you know, have the optionality. You want to have a portfolio. You look at ATAC, and we've got silver, lead, zinc, copper, gold, Carlin type system. You know, we're at yearly lows for our stock price. You know, we're well financed. We're going to have another big year. You know, spread your risk around. You know, whatever it is that you're looking for, look for good companies that have a lot of opportunities to make you some money. So, you know, take a look at ATAC. We're here, and yeah, thank you very much for your time.